Scan classes in Ignition dictate the execution of tags, and therefore play a crucial role in large, high-performance systems. Tags are assigned a scan class, and this determines how often they update, so how often a value for an OPC tag is pulled from the OPC server, or a query is executed from a query tag, or an expression on an expression tag is evaluated. Scan classes are created and edited in the designer, so I'm here in the designer. If I come over to my tag browser, and I select any tags within this tags folder, or just the tags folder itself, you'll see there's this little stopwatch icon up here that becomes enabled. If I click on that, it opens up the scan class editor window. We see there are two scan classes by default. There's default and default historical. And let's take a look at some of the properties on these. So I'll select default here, and we see we can give it a name. We can also select a mode for it. We'll take an in-depth look at each of the modes here in future videos, but just know for right now we can set it as a driven, least, or a direct scan class. Direct just means that this is always executing 24/7, and it uses the slow rate property down below. The slow rate just determines how often it should execute, so every 1,000 milliseconds or 1 second. And again, we'll take a look at the fast rate and the driven properties in later videos. Then we'll see under Advanced Properties, there's this OPC data mode. It's currently set to subscribe, but there is a read option. Subscribe means that the OPC server will subscribe to the addresses in the PLC at the specified rate, and the value for the tags will be determined by the most recent value reported to the OPC server from the devices. Read, on the other hand, means a new read request for each OPC tag on the scan class will be sent out during execution to its devices, and then passed back to the tags. In short, subscribe is far more efficient, but read can offer you more precise control in regards to when the values are obtained. In most cases, there isn't too much of a difference between these two values, but sometimes it might matter. Next is the OPC read after write property. When disabled, there can potentially be a small delay between sending a write to a tag and the value on the tag being updated. When enabled, the value on any tags that are using the scan class will immediately update after a write. Enabling this is less efficient, but in situations where the value in Ignition needs to be updated immediately, this should be enabled. So as we mentioned, this default scan class is executing at a slow rate of 1 second, while default historical is executing at a slow rate of 10 seconds. It's also easy to create brand new scan classes. So if I come down here and click on the little green plus icon, I can add a new scan class. It shows that I created one named new scan class. And of course I can change the mode, slow rate, name, and other properties here. I can delete the new scan class, or any scan class, by clicking on the little red X down below. There's a refresh button to refresh the list of scan classes, and there's also an export and import button down below. Scan classes are contained within the tag provider, so if you want similar scan classes spread out amongst all of your providers, then you can simply export your scan classes from here and import them into any of your providers.